Good morning, students. Myself, Anil Kumar from RK International School, Nizampur. Today we are going to discuss first lesson of science, nutrition in plants for 7th class. All of you know that all living things need food to carry out different life processes like respiration, excretion, circulation, etc. And you know, food has 7 components. These 7 components are carbohydrates, fat, vitamin, minerals, roughage, water. These 7 components are called nutrients. So what are nutrients? Now you can answer the question, what are nutrients? Components of food are called nutrients. Now what is nutrition? Nutrition is the process of intake of food. The process of intake of food component, even you can say, is called nutrition. In plants, photosynthesis is mode of nutrition in mostly green plants. Photosynthesis, as you know, is the process by which green plants prepare their food with the help of carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. You can write this. Plant need carbon dioxide to make their food, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. With the help of these 4 raw material, plant make their food, which is glucose. So what is the food of plants? Glucose. And they give us oxygen also. In absence of any raw material out of these 4, in absence of carbon dioxide or in absence of water or in absence of sunlight or in absence of chlorophyll, plant cannot make their food. During photosynthesis, light energy, this is light energy is converted into chemical energy. This energy conversion takes place during photosynthesis. Light energy, sunlight, is converted into chemical energy. This glucose is nothing but a chemical. So during photosynthesis, light energy is converted into chemical energy. So this is a particular mode of nutrition in green plant, which is known as photosynthesis. Let's proceed further. Now we are going to study different modes of nutrition. Different modes of nutrition. Nutrition can be divided into mainly 2 parts. First is known as autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition. And second is heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Auto means self. And hetero means others. Autotrophic nutrition. This is the mode of nutrition in which an organism can prepare its food itself. These kind of organisms which can make their own food are called autotrophs. In this category, you can put green plants. So green plants are autotrophs. They are also called producers. They are also called producers. Some bacteria are also there in this category. So you can simply say green plants and bacteria are autotrophs and their mode of nutrition is autotrophic. On the other hand, the organisms which cannot make their food are called heterotrophs and their mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition can be further divided. It can be divided into saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, holozoic nutrition, and symbiotic nutrition. So we can classify nutrition into two parts, mainly autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. They can make their food, they cannot make their food, so they depend on others for their food. And we have already explained the process of photosynthesis. Let me explain some more things about the process of photosynthesis. You know that there are very small pores present in the leaves. They are generally found on the lower surface of leaf. They are called stomata. This is a single stomata, and these two bean-shaped structure are called guard cells. Guard cells. Nucleus is there. This is nucleus. This is the space between two guard cells is called stomatal aperture. Stomatal aperture. And chloroplast is also there. This is chloroplast. Chloroplast. And stomatas are surrounded by these kind of cells called mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells. The opening and closing of stomata is controlled by guard cell. These guard cells controls the opening and closing of stomata. We will discuss this process in detail in higher classes. So let's proceed further. One more thing I would like to tell you in this context is photosynthesis. As a result of photosynthesis, plant make glucose. This glucose is utilized or used by plants for their metabolic purpose, for growth and development, you can see. Most of the glucose is used up. Remaining glucose is converted into starch. If you wish to test that photosynthesis has occurred in a plant or not, then you have to take a starch containing substance and put a drop of iodine solution. On adding 1-2 drop of iodine solution, if this substance turn blue or black, it means it has starch and photosynthesis has taken place in it. If not, then photosynthesis has not taken place in that particular substance. So, if you want to test that photosynthesis has occurred in a plant or not, you cannot test for the glucose. You have to test for the starch, because the remaining glucose is converted into starch. The food stored in plant in the form of starch. Right? Let's proceed further. Now we are going to discuss different modes of heterotrophic nutrition. Okay. Saprophytic nutrition. We are going to discuss saprophytic nutrition. In this particular mode of nutrition, organisms depend on dead and decaying matters. Dead and decaying matters for their food. The main example of this category is fungi. Fungi like mold, mushroom. These are example of fungus. So, and they are also called decomposers. Decomposers. You can put some bacteria in this category also. So, what are the example of saprophytes? Bacteria and fungus. And they get their food from dead and decaying matters. So this is saprophytic nutrition. On the other hand, our next point is parasitic nutrition or parasite. The living organism which live in or on the body of other organism. The living organism which live inside the body or on the body of other living organism are called parasite. They get their food from that particular organism on which or in which they are living. This mode of nutrition is called parasitic mode of nutrition, and this kind of living organisms are called parasites. Parasites can be of two types. Parasites can be of two types. You can divide them in two parts. Parasite. Let me tell you one more thing. The parasite live in the body of or on the body of other living organism. That other living organism is known as host. On or in which the parasite is living. That is called host. Parasite can be divided into two parts. Parasites and partial parasites. Partial parasites. They are these parasites. They are divided into two parts. Parasites, you can call them total parasite also. Total parasites or partial parasites. They cannot make their food at all. They get complete food from their host. So they are total parasite. They cannot make even a little bit food. On the other hand, they have green leaves. Partial parasites have example of total parasite is Cascata. Cascata, which is also known as dodder plant. In Hindi it is known as amarbeli. This is total parasite. On the other hand, in partial parasite we can put sandalwood, roots of sandalwood particularly. Partial parasites have small green leaves, so they can make their food, but they depend on their host for water and minerals only. So they are called partial parasites. I think it is very clear that parasites are of two types, total parasites and partial parasites. To example of total parasites, Cascata. Example of partial parasite is sandalwood, roots of sandalwood you can say, and they can synthesize, they can make their food, but they depend on their host for water and minerals. So we have completed saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition. Now we are coming to holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition. The engulfing of food is called holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition, engulfing engulfing of food, engulfing of food, engulfing of solid food is called phagocytosis, and engulfing of liquid food is called pinocytosis. So you can see this kind of nutrition in amoeba. So what is holozoid nutrition? Engulfing of food, and if as engulfing of solid food is there, that is called phagocytosis. Engulfing of liquid food is there, that is called pinocytosis. Last, we are going to discuss symbiotic nutrition. In symbiotic mode of nutrition, living organisms live together for the benefit of each other. They live in close association. This is called symbiotic nutrition. For example, lichen is there. Suppose, let us take example of lichen to clear the symbiotic nutrition. Lichen is actually a combination of alga and fungi. You know, alga is small green plant and fungi is a saprophyte. They can make their food, they cannot make their food at all. So alga prepare food and give it, or you can say share it with fungus. Alga prepare food and share this food with fungi. On the other hand, fungi give water and minerals to the alga. So this is, you can say, simply sharing and caring. So they live in close association for benefit of each other. Alga is giving food to fungi and fungi is giving water and minerals to alga. This kind of close, so lichen is an excellent example of symbiotic nutrition. There is another example, rhizobium. Rhizobium and leguminous plants. Leguminous plants, or you can say root nodules. Leguminous plants, rhizobium, leguminous plants or leguminous root nodules. Leguminous plants or root nodules give nutrition to rhizobium. On the other hand, this rhizobium converts free nitrogen into nitrate. This is free nitrogen and this is nitrate. So they are giving something to one another. Leguminous plants or leguminous root nodule. Leguminous plants are those which have pods, like mustard, you can say, pea, you can say, pea and mustard are leguminous plants. They have root nodules in their roots. They provide nutrition to the rhizobium, and rhizobium converts free nitrogen into nitrate. Now, last but not the least, I am going to discuss special mode of nutrition in some plant, and this will be the last topic of this lesson. Special mode of nutrition. There are some plants, as you have studied, which are insectivorous. Insectivorous plants. They feed on insects. For example, you can say pitcher plant, sundew, and Venus flytrap. They are insectivorous plant. They generally grow in the areas which are nitrogen deficient. Nitrogen deficient. So pitcher plant and sundew have a liquid or fluid, you can say, which attract insect. When an insect come closer, it dies, and pitcher plant and sundew get nitrogen or nitrogenous substance from that particular insect. Similarly, in case of flytrap, you can say Venus flytrap plant can trap plants and it can easily get nitrogen from them. This is all for the day. Have a good day. Good morning again.